But first, it's fair to say that of late things have been a bit difficult for EasyJet. The airline, which for the past 2 years has been trying to change the face of flying, has hit a bit of a glitch. For flights costing as little as £29, EasyJet promised no meals, no free drinks, no hot towels, no in-flight peanuts, no frills at all. But now it's got no planes either, or at least not enough to go round. Its flight schedules got busier and it's run out of planes. No frills? Some of EasyJet's would-be passengers aren't too thrilled either. Candida Beveridge has been taking a hard look at EasyJet.
Back in January, Catherine William Powlett and 7 friends arranged to take a week's holiday in Scotland in May. Because they were flying on a bank holiday, she deliberately booked the flight several months in advance. As it turned out, her flight on EasyJet wasn't easy at all.
Everything seemed fine, everyone was on course to go, and we were all looking forward to it and planning what we're going to take and what we're going to do. And I got a letter on Saturday morning saying that the return flight was just not available. No apology, nothing. They said that we could go on alternative flights, neither of which were particularly attractive options.
With only a week to go, she got onto the special EasyJet hotline immediately. After hanging on for nearly half an hour, she promptly had the phone slammed down on her by an irate operator who couldn't find a suitable alternative flight. Frustrated, Catherine booked a flight with British Airways and then rang again to request a refund. Just like before, she was cut off by another EasyJet operator. In desperation, she phoned customer services, but they didn't answer the phone.
I accept that we've paid cheap flights for cheap flights, so I expect a fairly cheap service, but I don't expect no service at all, which is basically what we're getting.
And it appears things weren't much better at EasyJet's desk at Luton Airport. Last Wednesday, Amanda Brace travelled all the way from Brighton to take advantage of the cheap fares to Aberdeen, only to find when she got there, her flight had been cancelled.
We had to stand in a queue for 30-40 minutes without knowing what was going to happen to us, whether we were going to have another flight or a refund or anything. When we eventually did get to somebody, they were very offhand and in fact actually ignored some customers and also sort of laughed at us as if we were quite amusing for being so upset about the fact that we were missing holidays, weddings and appointments that we'd made in Aberdeen over the weekend.
Amanda was offered a hotel and a flight the following morning. When that too was delayed, she cancelled her plans and demanded compensation. Too right, says travel expert Simon Calder. He's astonished at the airline's behaviour.
I think that most airlines would not have behaved in this way and they would have been much fairer to their customers. After all, EasyJet operates this very strict policy where if you phone up and you book a particular flight, you have to take that flight or you lose all your money. You can't change it at all. They're rather changing the rules, moving the goalposts so that they can change their minds about it, but the poor passenger still stands to lose his or her money if they book a flight and can't take it.
EasyJet's explanation is a shortage of planes. This is what they told passengers in a mail shot last week.
Dear EasyJet customer, regrettably, due to circumstances beyond our control, the flight stated above will not operate. In simple terms, we are 1 aircraft short because of a late delivery of our latest Boeing 737. If you still wish to travel on another EasyJet flight, please call our hotline.
Considering the disruption, wouldn't it have been easier just to lease an extra plane? We set about finding out just how simple this would be. All it took was one phone call to Goldcrest Aviation.
Steve Tomlinson, may I help you?
Oh, hello, it's Candida Beveridge here from Radio 4. I wondered if you could help me. I want to charter an aeroplane next Wednesday from Luton to Aberdeen, a 737-300.
Right, OK. Can you bear with me? I'll just check my availability. I haven't got a 737-300, but I have a 737-200, which is a 130-seat aircraft.
Within just 1 minute, I'd booked a similar plane. All that was left was the paperwork.
Well, what I'll do is, if you can give me a fax number...
If we managed to sort it out so quickly, why can't EasyJet? I rang the airline's owner, 29-year-old former shipping magnate Stelios. He was at home in Greece.
Let me start, first of all, by apologising to all the people who've been affected. I mean, we feel very strongly about delivering a punctual and reliable service, and we know that we have failed in that respect in the last couple of weeks. The reason for that is that we have bought another 2 aircraft One of the two new ones arrived on time. The other one still has not arrived in Luton.
Could you not then have leased a plane?
We are leasing aircraft left, right and centre, but we know this is not sustainable. That's why we decided to bite the bullet and effectively operate like a 4-aircraft company for the next 2 months. And we send a letter out to everybody notifying them of the change.
You could have easily leased a plane. We managed to get one for 8 days' time. I mean, surely if you really cared about your customers, you would have done this.
We have actually leased aircraft, a lot of aircraft. We probably spent upwards of £500,000 on leased aircraft in the month of May.
Well, if you're not able to provide a full service, surely you should have done your utmost to make people happy. I mean, your hotline was difficult to get through to. We've had complaints about airport staff clearly not taking customers seriously.
It is true we've dropped about half the calls the first day. The ratio now is substantially lower, and we hope that in the next couple of days we'll go back to a normal answering service.
And what about the fact that your staff slammed the phone down on one of your customers?
Well, I apologize on their behalf. I mean, this shouldn't happen, but in an environment of high stress like a call center, when everybody actually complains, maybe that has happened. It should not happen, but I apologize if it has.
Do you think you're just cutting corners too fine?
If you're referring to safety or operational integrity, I would flatly refuse that. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, you should have said, yes, perhaps I should have allowed for 1 month for that aircraft to be delivered. I've been let down by my suppliers. I'm letting down my customers, and I take that very seriously, but it has happened.
Can you guarantee that if you buy a flight from EasyJet now, you will get to your destination?
Absolutely. We've had that guarantee out all along. We will get you there. If you show up at the airport, we will put you on the next flight.
And if that's not enough, Stelios says he'll give a full refund to anyone who asks. But for the passengers we've spoken to, that won't be sufficient. Frills or no frills, they won't be tempted to travel EasyJet again.